These spaces must be led by witches who are black, brown, indigenous, witches who are trans and genderqueer, witches who are sex workers, witches who are chronically ill and disabled, witches who are under-resourced, underrepresented and forced out of conversations within the Eurocentric, cisgender, heteronormative, white dominant narrative of witch within the mainstream. And that is what I like. Hello, welcome or welcome back to Sapling Tarot. My name is Imogen. I have a whole bunch of other things that I feel like, I don't know, maybe I should film or that I want to film or that are on my kind of like filming list, but I can't seem to get myself to do any of them. So I thought what I would do is something that I was just going to do by myself anyway, and I thought I would show you. I've been giving myself a little bit of a hard time lately for not having much get up and go beyond very kind of like, I don't know, personal sounds really wanky, but like inner work. And I've like been giving myself a hard time. And then this morning I was thinking, well, I mean, look at the state of things, Imogen. Not in the least, it's January, although we are a month away from the solstice, and so the days are a little bit longer. I do live in Scotland, and so it's not as if that automatically means that things are a lot brighter in terms of actual how much light there is. And so that, you know, that makes a lot of things a little bit more challenging. And then, you know, there's just the state of things. And coming from all angles, a lot of things are very tricky. And I know that I'm not alone in that. And so I'm doing the good advice of talk to yourself the way that you would talk to a dear friend. And so here we are. I'm just doing what I want to do rather than what I feel like I should do, because it's some, like, I don't know, arbitrary month on the calendar or whatever. So all of that is to say, I got hold of a unicorn deck of mine. This is the Living Altar Oracle, an oracle and spell deck for the radical witch. This is a deck that I have wanted for a number of years, and I think when I first discovered it, it was more readily available to me here in the UK, but it was outside of my price range. I've actually gone and looked on the Little Red Tarot website since getting this, and they are due to have some back, or it is due to be back in stock at some point early this year. So that's exciting, but it's still £65 plus postage deck. And so I've wanted this for a really long time, and I found it on Vinted. So I have had a little bit of a look because, you know, secondhand decks, you want to check that everything is kind of right and proper about it. I don't know, is there anything that you want to put it upside down? I'll show you the back. I don't see this deck around really, but I remember seeing it like years ago now and being just absolutely captivated by particularly the art style and just how, particularly by the art style and just like how dynamic it is. So just thought I'd show it to you. I'm really excited to have it. I thought I'd show you the guidebook, show you the box, etc. And then I'll probably get some other decks out to see if any of them kind of speak to each other. I think I've talked before, I'm not a huge like deck pairing person, but this feels very much like, I suppose it's like more like altar cards than an oracle deck. Is like, it's quite big in terms of trying to shuffle, so it's probably one that I would pick out a card specifically to work with. Sorry, I'm just moving stuff around. I can't really work it out. I can see that this wouldn't be for everyone because it does look beat to fuck, even though this is like brand new. Like, so I'm not articulating myself well today. I'm really sorry. Bear with me. This is going to be a video for those of you who know and like me. This is not going to be one for new viewers, I feel. And fuck it, that has to be all right. So yeah, so like every one of these pieces of artwork has had like a spell done on top of it and then photographed. And I just think that's very cool. I find the artwork very kind of visceral and yeah, dynamic and stuff. And this has been on my wish list and like so high on my wish list for so long that actually my own oracle deck that I've been working on is, I think now that I actually have this deck, it will essentially serve as like an expansion of this deck because it was so heavily influenced by like the concept of this deck. So yeah, so I'll start like flicking through it, I guess. Yeah, the keywords are kind of varied. I'll see if I can find the graphic. It might be in the book actually. Gosh, I'm getting distracted already. Yeah, so there's like this wheel. It's a bit fuzzy actually in the book. And so all of these keywords fit somewhere around the wheel and they kind of link in with each other. Gosh, yeah, that print quality is pants. But there is a better image, I think, on the Living Altar website and also on the Little Red Tarot website. So you start with surrender and then you move through the elements and the seasons and times of day and night, then moons, and then more kind of classic keywords, if you know what I mean. Also, it's got this like glossy, yeah, there you go, you can see that kind of this, I don't know, you can barely call it spot gloss because it's such a big expanse, but it feels really weird in a good way, of where it's this kind of matte rose petal card and then this really high gloss, almost kind of sticky, smooth thing, and it really just adds to this. And then there's like a texture because of it being like this thread-like thing. It feels really weird but like really good in your hands. So we've got this little butterfly. I don't know how much I'll have to say because some of these are quite like on the nose. I'll have a look at the guidebook in a minute. Fire. There's a lot of this like red thread through it, which, I don't know, it kind of gives me chills. Water and earth. There's so much of this like smudgy black kind of like ash and soot and stuff, and then there's like these bits that have been like actually burnt out of the cards. And we've got spring, which is where we're headed at the moment. So we've got like some ferns, feather, cocoon, and so they've like associated them with elements. So that one's like air. Got summer. So that's like obviously identifiable bits and pieces in that. So like hoof print. Autumn, we've got some like snaky things, pine cones. I don't know, like I can see some people thinking that this is just unspeakably ugly, but I don't know. I think it's really powerful. Winter is where we are at the moment, feeling very earthy. Filming this like, well, I'm filming this the day it's going to go up. But we've just entered Aquarius season, but this feels very Capricorn. Ooh, okay, so what do we here? Sunrise, we've got some runes. Those colours are just fab. I love that it looks really worn and used already, and like that is how it's made to look. This isn't just because I bought it secondhand. Okay, we've got more of these runes. I have been enjoying my rune study, but I couldn't confidently tell you what we're doing here with that movement from sunrise to midday. Sunset, midnight, got some more of those big stitches, kind of like crystalline. And then all of the runes have kind of gone into kind of vapours and little wisps. New moon. Yeah, I'm gonna need to figure out what we're doing with these runes. Crescent moon, first quarter moon. It's interesting with the again, the elemental correspondences. I don't know those particularly. I mean, the earth for new moon and fire for full moon, I guess, makes sense. But the other ones are kind of interesting. Disseminating moon. Oh, we've got an apple. Some acorns. Yeah, because I think about this a lot in terms of like the seasons and the moon cycle. And so like the summer solstice is like the full moon of the sun, and the new moon, or the winter solstice is like the new moon. And so it's quite nice to see these, like, so if the disseminating moon is like kind of harvest time, it's pretty cool. Third quarter moon, got more of these snakes, a kind of Ouroboros thing going on. Balsamic moon, love that. Oh, and this is brought in like shells and a kind of a sea marine thing. Like guess if we're saying that this is like water, I also just like the phrase balsamic moon. I don't know why, I think because I think about like fancy balsamic vinegars and balsamic kind of resins and stuff in perfumery. And it's like, it's a profile I quite like. Okay, so emergent. So it's like, okay, we've got fire again. We're coming out of the cocoon, maybe. Rebirth. So what are we feeling is the difference? Oh no, that's air, that's not fire, there is a line through it. Okay, so the pinks. Pinks are air, maybe. Difference between emergence and rebirth. Like a little kind of wolf cub or a fox cub or something in there. Promise. I like that in terms of like potential. Like an egg? Childhood. Oh my gosh, I was talking to someone about like the Disney film or the Pixar film Brother Bear, which I don't think I ever actually saw, but it was advertised on a whole load of Disney VHSs and maybe even DVDs when I was younger. And so this like icon of the, so it's like a hand print inside a paw print. I mean, this is like a small paw inside a big paw. But that's like, it's really been in my head lately. It's like related to this film that I've never seen. But I like that. Such a good, the vibrant like red going into green is just wild. Like these, I'm assuming they're like lino cuts or wood cut type things. Adolescence. I don't know if my adolescence felt like that. It's like a bridge or a river going from one thing into the next, I suppose. Yeah, like a kind of liminal season of your life. Not quite one thing, not quite the other. Yeah, that's fair. Celebration. Got these masks, flowers, leaves, young adults. So can you like plot these? Okay, so we're saying that adolescence is fire, whereas young adult is water. And again, it's this river flowing through abundance. Young adulthood and abundance. It's the association, isn't it? Although I do wonder the way things are going. I don't know how many people feel that in their young adulthood. Adulthood? Or adult kind of reached a bend in the river, or we've reached a hill. Again, we're sticking with the watery theme. Generosity. I really like that. It feels, there's a lot of things that people have been talking about lately because it, you know, it's always relevant, but there are moments where it feels even more relevant of talking about community and generosity and people taking cues from nature and things like mycelial networks and root systems and, you know, that giant tree. It's like a copse of aspens that are all technically one tree. That was really following me around last year. I kept seeing a reference. Midlife. So we've got like a dog or a wolf or a fox. Soul harvest. Sounds really chilling. Nice big spider. Big. I don't know. I like that my brain immediately goes to harvesting other people's souls in some kind of vampiric way, and I'm assuming that's not what that means. Elderhood. You've got something kind of howling at the moon. Oh yeah, like the way the colours transition. Solitude. So we're into winter now. The holly and the trees again. The little fire. Kind of grounding. Yeah, we get the ultimate grounding of death. I understand the association of elderhood and solitude and winter and solitude. I don't have those associations. Whether through desire or the personal experience of like people in my life, I would say that elderhood is more of a community thing. So I probably swap out solitude and maybe generosity here, or abundance. That's what I want. I want elders and things to be this abundance and generosity, Jesus, Imogen. Got death, got a nice skull. So we've kind of got through the life cycle, and now we're on to some more kind of standalone keywords. Boundaries, identity. I like identity as a butterfly, kind of coming into your own identity. That's very cool. Relationship. So is that like a symbiotic thing with all the different kind of plants working together and growing together? Oh, there's like a stag, like a lone stag in a forest. Good. Resource. I don't know, I've had this deck for, I don't know, a couple of weeks, just sitting just sitting, I mean airing out a little bit as well, which is generally what I do with secondhand decks. I've been almost intimidated by it, and I think that's probably not a unique thing in terms of when you get a unicorn deck in your hands. And, you know, I know some people's unicorn decks are like decks that go for fucking 800 on eBay or something, and this is not necessarily that. But it's something I've thought about and has just kind of lived in my brain since the first time I saw it. But I've been like a bit intimidated to sort of try and work with it. So just, yeah, sitting down and kind of going through them card by card is, I think, exactly what I needed to do. And, you know, just taking you along with me, seeing what I notice in them. Creativity, intention. Boy's got a lot of butterflies. Transformation. Oh, goody. And again, it's that stag. So it's like there's a stag, a wolf, a butterfly that I've noticed going through them. Cleansing, ritual, got those antlers. These colours though, I mean, come on. Creation. Interesting that we've got creation and creativity and emergence and rebirth. All of these, yeah. It's like a skull. And it's the antlers again. It's butterfly. Expression. It's quite funny going through these. I don't think I'd really scrutinised all the keywords on this before getting it. So many of them from the deck I've been making, and so it's like, it's trying to figure out whether I scrap those cards or whether I have enough to say to make it different enough. Little snake head. These shapes feel very like scorpion, which I suppose like if we were bringing like Scorpio into it with the water. And there's a snake, kind of like a... That's cool because you've got that snake, and then you've got like, if I'm seeing this as like either a snake's head or a scorpion's tail, so this is like the word that I've only ever read and not ever had to say out loud. Yes, the Mercury one, you know, with the snakes on the staff. Ancestor, yes, the ultimate ancestor. Oh, this is interesting. They've got them. So there's like a little. So you've got the shape of the like water, but then with air in the middle. No, with earth, water and earth, and then this is water and air. Oh, that's fun. So you could tarot that, couldn't you? So if that's air of water, that's King of Cups for me, or that would be water of air, so Queen of Swords for ancestor. That's so cool. Yes, that's the kind of ancestor I want to work with. Initiation, another Ouroboros. Got like flame. Oh, okay, so that's the those ones. Spell cards. Okay, so with the spell cards, I can tell you what their keywords are, but I am gonna be checking from the book because I couldn't tell you. I'm not familiar enough with them yet. Okay, so this is day. We've got like snake skin and moss and sticks and wacky. Interesting. And then we've got moon. So again, I can see more leaves, more like green wax, more of this red thread, and the back, like the background image is the creator's hands. This is rebirth, I think, which makes sense. Got some nice ash and wax, and like these look like rose petals, all red. This is cute, like the petals making it looks like kind of a butterfly or something. More wax, maybe ink, moss, rose petals. Sorry, I'm supposed to be, fuck me. I'm supposed to be telling you what these are. This one is childhood, which, yeah, I can see childhood in that. It's probably the kind of magic I did. This is adolescence. So that looks like, I don't know, some kind of hide, maybe, or a moss. Like there's something really like fluffy, furry about that. Then we've got some cinnamon sticks, more leaves, young adult. Yeah, more of this kind of grassy, fibery stuff. Sticks and wax and thread, more rose petals. I like that they're using essentially the same ingredients across a lot of these, because that feels quite real in terms of the people I know who practice kind of magic-y, witchy things. It's less about having a million different ingredients with one use case and more having like a handful of different things with a million use cases. Did I tell you what that one was? That was adult. You could probably have guessed that. Midlife. Oh, we've got some blue waxy inky stuff going on. Bringing those colours back in. Like these fur, like pine frondy things. They're lovely. And then we're into elderhood. Again, we've got this like maybe kind of animal skin and the snake skin. Coil of the red thread. Like an end point. We've got death orange wax. It's so interesting, these like associations and stuff. This looks like maybe like a burnt petition paper or something. Smashing the shit out of the joint. We've got earth. Yeah, that feels good. That's the purple that I use almost exactly for when I do my monthly layouts of an earth season. More of that like animal stuff. Geez, those actually look like butterfly wings. Why does that make me feel weird? And animal parts doesn't. That's something to interrogate, isn't it? But then also petals. Let's just imagine they're petals. And leaves, fire. There's a lot of these things that I'm quite familiar with like versions of. So things like, I don't know, kind of calendula, marigold. It's a lot of stuff that I work with. It could even be like yellow rose petals. That would be really pretty. And then water. The snake and the hair. Oh, I think there's been hair throughout these top. Fuck me, is that a tooth? Jeez. That's fun. These are gnarly. I love it. Yeah, obsessed. I mean, imagine you can essentially like borrow someone else's spells with these. Can use things I would never have access to by having these cards. And there's something like really like personal, I suppose, about seeing these kinds of workings that people have done. It kind of reminds me a bit of the magical guidance cards that Anna at Astral Lady Tarot made that I use all the time. That all of those were spells that she'd done. All 90 cards. They're all spells. And like that's what a privilege to get to see that part of someone's life. Isn't that just wild? Speaking of which, I should get that deck out. It doesn't actually live with my other decks because I work with it, I suppose, in a different way than I do like Tarot and Oracle. This deck will probably have to kind of have its own home for that reason as well. I can't really see it being using it really as an Oracle deck or the way that I use Oracle decks. I think Anna might even have this deck. She may have had it at some point. But like the colours on, it's so, they're like so meant to be together. This is a make playing cards, like poker size deck. But yeah, I mean that's extraordinary. They are kind of made for each other with the red and the jewel tones. I guess there's maybe something a little bit more, just like a touch more like polished about Anna's because of the photography element. But yeah, those are, but I mean, what would you, it's like my brain is just like exploding with possibilities with like these two together in terms of like magical stuff or even like creative prompts. Like I'm not out here living and breathing spell work all the time. That's not really my practice so much. I don't really have the energy for that until I figure out a magical or mundane way of increasing my physical bodily energy. It's not my life. But you could use these for like creative prompts for either making like art. So you could make like art in the style of this, inspired by these like keywords and stuff. You could do like a blood magic kind of mixed media something, or you could do one about like astral projection. Make an art of your kind of inner world, about puppets or protection. They've got cleansing in here, but not protection so much, I don't think. Or like warding or anything like that, which are kind of quite like staple things of a lot of people's practices. But yeah, I mean, these feel like they're in a family together of that same kind of hands-on, real life magic and what that looks like in kind of a a modern but timeless way. Yes, these feel like siblings. What else? I feel like because of the sort of collage nature as well, we've got to have this in the middle. And these on either side. We had surrender. Surrender with the 5 of Swords is, yeah. And the 6 of Coins. Oof, ouch. Okay. And then with the Hierophant and the 3 of Cups. I don't know. I suppose if you were doing it like this, you'd want to like shuffle the deck, wouldn't you? Yeah, you're upside down. I knew you were upside down. I knew you were supposed to be the Hanged One. Fire, my hanging over the fire. Oh, you can't see that. Hanging over the fire. Water. Water with the 4 of Cups and the Empress feels really beautiful. And then like these sorts of details. I don't know. You can tell I don't really work with decks in like in kind of pairing sort of way. And I suppose also with these like elemental things, maybe if we skip down to the more like keywordy ones. So the colours are going to be like wild. Emergence with the 1, 2, 3, 7 of Wands, Knight of Swords, Rebirth. Rebirth with the Sun and 2 of Cups feels good. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? How would you use a deck like this? Would you use it with... How would you work with a deck like this? Would you work with other decks? Would you just let it be its own thing? I think like I can imagine using it kind of like I use the magical guidance cards with the like for inspiration for like magical stuff, but also for Jesus Christ. Magical stuff, but also for like kind of creative pursuits. Just taken a notion to the Osho Zen. Oh, I love that with the colours. The colours work really. You know, I think that could be, oh my god. Okay. Catalyst and Thunderbolt and Consciousness. Okay, come on. Yes. Adolescence, fighting and letting go. I mean, alright, Osho Zen. Change with your inner voice. That's Wheel of Fortune and High Priestess. Young adults experiencing the... Alright, okay, that's a bit much, but I will remember that. That's exciting, and the colours work really well together with it. I am wondering... I don't know, Oracle and Oracle feels a bit challenging, but I also feel like we need to see how she speaks with the Cave of Sybil. I mean, that's pretty cool. So what have we got? We've got Sabbath and Harlot with Abundance. Delicious. Unmade and Origin. Yes, I can feel that. Okay, so we're doing Oracle and Oracle maybe. Generosity with Wake and Wound, the roots for Wake and for Wound, and then like this in the middle. And Communion with Midlife. Yes, yeah, I can see that. Sweet. Good job, Sybil. I probably could have predicted that, but then also I wasn't obsessed with ritual with it. But yeah, that works beautifully. Anyone else? Anyone else shouting to be included? How about... I'm just going through my darkest decks now. A little bit of decks for the descent, isn't it? Ooh, Midlife, the grass is greener on the other side. You only found when you stop trying. The good midlife advice for a lot of people. Soul harvest, don't drown in a glass of water and go to your happy place. Fuck me, Elderhead, are you wasting your time? Alright, outgrow yourself. You made your point. Solitude, reap what you sow, grow through life. I mean, again, this is the essentially kind of Oracle and Oracle thing. Death, follow your passions, face your fear. I mean, that makes more sense, I suppose. Boundaries, what is limiting your growth? Okay, so this deck is getting me out of my comfort zone because it really seems like Oracle and Oracle is the way. One grab Poesis. I only have it in French, so I don't know if there's any point in like sharing it to you because it always takes me a minute to like translate. Identity, Earth and blockage, relationship, Listen, good advice. I'm not wrong, but I've been filming for a million years. The emotional body moves past reason and analysis. It's not resonant, it could be reasoning. The movement of the sea, the terrific force, plunges into the ocean interior and finds treasure and restaurants and freedom. I can't read French. I'm really trying my best. The excavation is kind of croissant. Yeah, I think it's reasoning. I think that's what it is. It's probably not. I will put on screen what it actually is. I apologise. But that feels good. Listening to reason. Resource. Okay. Again, this is intuition, inspiration. I know I got this to be like to force me into doing intuitive readings, but my brain doesn't like it. Sovereignty and the unknown, I think. The creativity, I like that. Intention, courage, like entryway, I think. I'm so sorry if you speak French and you're just watching me go off on like a wild goose chase of the language. Choice, expansion and flow. That's delicious, right? Come on, Paris. Transformation, compassion, and witches. Cleansing, choice, ritual, where there's star card, kind of OP stuff. Oh, those are beautiful together. Creation, connection. Yeah, okay. Fabulous. We've figured it out. We've cracked it. It's an oracle. It's an oracle's oracle. She's a girl's girl. That's exciting. I've not really... I do tarot and tarot, and I do oracle and tarot. I do oracle and oracle for my like year ahead. This is exciting. This is going to get me to work with my oracle decks more, because these are, I'm like fizzing. This is brilliant. Right, anyway. Fabulous. So she works well with the Osho Zen. So we did have a tarot. And Outgrow Yourself Tarot and Oracle, but also the Magical Guidance cards, Cave of Sybil, and Poesis. And then also, like, obviously just, like, stands alone as this incredible creation. I said I'd show you the guidebook. I feel like I've been talking for a million years. I like they called it the Witch's Wheel, but it's, like, not the Wheel of the Year. I think both creators are non-binary, maybe. I could be wrong. And so it's definitely, like... It's the flavour of witchcraft that I'm, like, most comfortable in. Yeah, so we've got, like, these spaces must be led by witches who are black, brown, indigenous, witches who are trans and genderqueer, witches who are sex workers, witches who are chronically ill and disabled, witches who are under-resourced, underrepresented and forced out of conversations within the Eurocentric, cisgender, heteronormative, white dominant narrative of witch within the mainstream. And that is what I like. Call to the transcestors, queer ancestors, ancestors of social movements. Feed the spirits who ground you in your cultural roots despite assimilation, diaspora and genocide. Yeah, this is my flavour of witchcraft and magic. Yeah, I'm so excited. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we've got the Witch's Wheel. So this thing about the idea of the cycles of nature. And then using them as essentially like flashcards, which I love. Like these are the coolest flashcards you've ever seen. But then tracking the origin, quality, impact, context, and directionality of the energy of your inquiry. So like, where is this coming from? And then it says like, or boundaries, or midlife. That's very cool. So yeah, so it talks about being like a living grimoire. Oh, it's cool. It's cool. Elemental origins, life path cards. Oh, okay, so I had it a bit wrong. Or like organised incorrectly. Rebirth and emergence, childhood and promise, adolescence and catalyst, absolutely. Young adulthood and celebration, maybe. Adulthood and abundance, sure. Midlife and generosity, I hope so. Elderhood and soul harvest. I probably just need to learn what soul harvest means, don't I? Okay, so this is why I've been intimidated by this deck. This is so powerful. I can like feel myself crying. It's a little bit like when I read Tarot, the decolonial guide to divinatory literacy by Christopher Marmolejo. The words are just really like powerful and so much what I've been looking for in everything ever. So I'll read the little spell to you for Soul Harvest. Well, why don't I find the card? That would be a nice thing to do, wouldn't it? Grateful for the colour coding, because these like bind things really easily. I surrender, lightning and thunder piercing the night sky. My memories are embers lifted in the winds of slumbering world. The breath of prayers answered haunt me like pages torn from the leathery tome of my body. My broken promises, my shattered dreams, my greatest triumphs and blessed successes all feed the fires of my soul's determination. I actualize like embers scattered in the seething storm. I am sacrifice. As the fires burn, my shadows emerge, undulating, rejoicing and crying in the flames. My higher self joins their revelry, relinquishing control to the freedom of radiance. Veil is thin, all that can be done has been done. A counsel must be sought. The witch's wheel comes full circle. One turning ends, another begins. Okay, so I still don't totally know what a soul harvest is, but that was really beautiful. We have a storm coming in as well, so it feels particularly apt to be the card that's kind of sticking with me right now. So yeah, I've been talking for a million years. Thanks for exploring this deck with me. I hope you liked it. Yeah, I hope you're taking really good care of yourselves, all things considering. Yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.